We start with the Packers, 6-1, 3-1 on the road at the Arizona Cardinals, 7-0, 3-0 at home. We're at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. So huge news coming in that has to be talked about first is COVID is attacking the Packers. Davante Adams placed on the reserve COVID list on Monday. Today, Alan Lazard on the reserve COVID-19 list, which means unless Marcus Valdez-Scantling can come off the injured reserve, he's missed the last 4 weeks with a hamstring injury, then they'll be down their top 3 wideouts versus Arizona. Davante Adams is vaccinated, so he could have an easier time getting off the list. The team's also expected to be without defensive coordinator Joe Barry for Thursday's game, and LaFleur says there are potentially some other issues within the coaching staff as well. So let's start with the market analysis in this game and then check out where the cash is. So with spreads and totals here in the Thursday nighter, this total opened up at 52.5 and is dropping. Packers are losing wide receivers, losing offensive talent, so it's dropping down to 50.5 or 50. The Cards went from 3.5-point favorites to 4.5-point favorites. When Davante Adams was announced out, they went to 6-point favorites. And when Lazard was announced out, they're now at 6.5-point favorites. When we go over to the cash in this game, we have 7,981 tickets in at this point. 60% of the tickets are on Arizona. 59% of the cash is on Arizona. Then we have 72% of tickets on the over and 41% of cash on the over. Interesting that the public still thinks points will be scored, whereas the big bets are coming in on the under. Adams leads the Packers in catches, 52, receiving yards, 744, tied second in the NFL in catches and alone in third in yards among all receivers. But the Packers come in off their 6th straight win, comfortable 24-10 home win over Washington football team, NFL's only undefeated team, improving to 7-0 for the first time since 1974. They were outgained 430 to 304 against Washington, 25 first downs compared to 19 for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, 27 to 35 for 274 yards, 3 touchdowns. Said his back felt a little stiff. Said it was killing him when he woke up on Sunday. So it felt stiff on Saturday, killing him on Sunday. And he thanked Nate Weir and Mike Zoel, his chiropractor, for getting ready to play. That's if you're going to decide that this is enough points and that Rodgers can make magic happen with anybody, if you believe that, then the back injury is still scary. He'll have Robert Tonyan out there who caught 4 passes for 63 yards. He'll have Cobb out there. They got very little out of their ground game. 15 carries for 57 yards. Jones, 6 carries for 19 yards. A.J. Dillon had 3 carries for 6 yards, fumbled twice, losing 1. Their defense was excellent. Devondre Campbell had 13 tackles. Rashawn Gary, 7 tackles, 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. As a team, they had 4 sacks and 9 quarterback hits, 6 passes deflected. And they had allowed touchdowns on 15 straight red zone drives coming into Sunday. So they're the first team in at least 40 years that didn't get a single red zone stop in their first 6 games of the season. But they got 4 straight red zone stops against Washington, of course, because I was on Washington. So Josh Myers, their center's a center on their team's on the IR. David Bakhtiari is practicing still, despite being on the reserve PUP list. Kenny Clark listed as questionable. Zadarius Smith and Jair Alexander both out for extended periods. Preston Smith, offensive tackle Dennis Kelly, cornerback Kevin King are all listed as questionable. Let's start with the Packers and the elephant in the room, COVID attacking their receivers. Do you think that we're getting to the point where this might be enough points for the Packers to keep it close, or is the COVID issue scaring you?
I don't know. It's COVID combined with everything else. Like, they also have a ton of injuries to begin with. Of course, Jair Alexander is a huge one. Still don't have David Bakhtiari. Kenny Clark's questionable. Like, this is a banged up team that now has COVID. Am I crazy? Like, Arizona is getting the luckiest situations. They play Cleveland when Cleveland has most of their team injured. They play the Niners when Trey Lance is making his NFL debut. George Kittle's out with a number of other big players out. They win on a last-second missed chip shot from Vikings. This is not a 7-0 team, and they're going to win again this week. It's crazy right now. And, yeah, I think it was J.J. Watt who was like, they keep making excuses. Come on, J.J., open your eyes. Shit's happening in your favor. They're still a good football team, but they are not a 7-0 team.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about this team that is riding very high and very confident, coming in off a 31-5 victory at home over the Texans, only undefeated team, and are now 7-0 for the first time since 1974. Kyler Murray, 20-28, 261 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Zach Ertz looked great in his first game as a Cardinal, 3 for 66, 1 touchdown. A.J. Green caught 3 passes for 66 yards. DeAndre Hopkins, 7 for 53. Christian Kirk, 4 for 50. They have a lot of offensive weapons. Chase Edmonds ran 15 times for 81 yards. James Conner ran 10 times for 64 yards and a touchdown. The Cardinals' defense didn't get a ton of pressure on Davis Mills, but they didn't have to. 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. They held Houston just 160 yards of total offense, 8 first downs. So with this short week, we don't know exactly what's going on with their injury report. J.J. Watt's on it with a shoulder. Center Max Garcia with an Achilles tendon. Linebacker Jordan Hicks with a toe. Wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins with a hamstring. They're all listed, but we don't know the seriousness of their injuries at this point on Tuesday. I mean, it'll come a lot clearer tomorrow. Linebacker Chandler Jones and defensive end Zach Allen are activated from the reserve COVID list. We have a lot of cappers in our chat that got in on the -4, which was great work. Burgundy Bet says, yeah, Birdie, the Packers are 6-0 without Adams. I mean, I would like to take the Packers and Rodgers to keep it close. I mean, one thing we know about Rodgers is he likes being challenged. He likes being challenged. He likes showing off when people don't believe in him or believe in his team. This might be a nice situation for him. I'm not sure exactly how high this number could go. I don't know if there is a 7 waiting for us. Is there anything that interests you from a gambling standpoint? What do you think about this total, and is there anything you want to make a move on? Bebsie?
Hey.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to make a move on here in this spot for the Thursday nighter? All right. I don't know. Did we lose you, Bebsie? Are you with us? Okay. I think we may have lost Bebsie here for a sec. Maybe I'll just pull you up. Bebsie, can you hear anything I'm saying right now? Are you?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know why you can't hear me.
I can hear you. Okay. So is there anything you want to make a move on here? I know you don't like Thursday nighters, but the Packers at 6.5 right now, and this total is sitting at 50.5.
Well, for starters, I do kind of like the under. Not going to play it. And yeah, if I was going to make a bet, it would be plus 6.5 with the Packers, because I do believe they can keep it close, even with the injuries, even with the number of receivers now on the COVID list. Outside chance that Adams gets off this list before the game. But it's still a no play for me. It was, Thursday night or not, this would probably still be a wait and see for me. Like, see if this moves, but more see if Devontae Adams is going to play. Like, I saw that stat, they're 6-0 without him. I think that's interesting, but that doesn't give me confidence.
J Dub says Rodgers 25-18 against the spread when playing as the underdog. All right. Well, I love that you guys got that -4. I love that you guys got the -4 when it was available. But I think the Packers can keep it close, and I'm going to sit back and wait at this point to see how high this number is going to go. I do think that Rodgers will keep me close. So that's about my breakdown. I'd like to know that Valdez-Scantling is going to be in the lineup. So I'm going to be as close to my ear to the streets to figure out that stuff. But if Valdez-Scantling is in and Cobb's in, then I think that's enough. And at this point, I don't know how much more it'll move. Burgundy Bet says that's awesome. However, I feel Arizona has too much firepower and to keep Chandler Jones back amongst others. I mean, from that week 1 loss, 38-3 or whatever it was to the Saints, is it possible that if the Packers get down a couple scores or down 17 points, that Rodgers just lets it go, says my back's hurting and let's just get out of here and wait for next week?
Quite possibly. I also think, nobody's really been able to exploit the excuse me, the absence of Jair Alexander so far. But Arizona's going to be able to. Again, like Bertie said, too much firepower. So, you got D-Hop to cover, but then you also have, AJ Green's not what he used to be, but he's still fantastic. I think Christian Kirk, man, I keep thinking this guy's going to be on the verge of blowing up any day now for him. Now they have Zach Ertz, who, like you said, looked great in his first appearance. He's been waiting to get out of Philadelphia. Now he's in Arizona, happy. We might see a resurgence of Zach Ertz now. It's just a lot of firepower for Green Bay to contend with.
It is, and I'm don't need to force anything here. So I will wait. Nuke Walker says wait in his opinion. Al Cervix says Cards get a solo primetime game. They're going to play hard. They're still getting plenty of disrespect. Brady says Murray got the shit kicked out of him last week. He's dealing with a shoulder injury, and he got killed last week versus Houston. Crystal Warren says, I take Arizona now. If you're going to take it, who knows how many more Packers are going to be on the COVID protocol to come Thursday. There's no question about if I do take the Packers. If I'm going to wait till the very last minute. So I'll wait till Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. and make a decision then with all the information in.